Another thing is, I asked to try to come to get some kind of an agreement on trying to get this pension thing straightened out. And I know Mr. Brown says, oh, we went to the state. That's not the state. Who has the formula where part-time employees like Tom Layton, Lee Namey, Tom McGordy, now Kathy Kane, are going to use that part-time service towards a full-time pension? Nobody could tell me. And I've been asking and asking. And I think that these people could help. Somebody knows the formula, but nobody will tell me. So I was just wondering, is there any way we could get these things so we could finalize them? And another thing is, like Mr. Vinsco, you're the one who wrote the towing contract. Like I said, I don't blame Falzones and I don't blame Leo Galazzi. But that contract is still going on where you're allowed to charge what you want. And I know what you say. How did you base them prices? On industry standards? I mean, let's face facts, it's a kickback. Well, we used to do it for one price, now you charge what you want. So after they make their $1,000 a week, they charge what they want. I mean, the mayor got tens of thousands of dollars in campaign contributions between Falzones and LAG. And you know, I wrote you a letter warning you, warn council, when I was railroaded out, what would happen? And the mayor lied. He lied and misled this council and the previous councils. All this thing is a money pit. It's the insurance company and the people get their cars towed. I mean, everybody knew. And you just keep letting it go on. So when he's going to bring this to a conclusion? LAG, he's done. He's never, and Bill, you were right there, and I warned you right in this room, you're not going to get away with what you didn't mean, you didn't. You paid $250,000, you're lucky it wasn't more. But when are we going to be able to bring these things to a conclusion? Pension? Towing? When are we going to bring this stuff to a conclusion? The contract's finished. Finished. And if you do rewrite a contract, why does the tower have to pay a kickback to the city? I mean, go take a look at the bills. Get the bills in there. Matter of fact, council, why don't you just get a copy of all the bills and see the prices? And all it is the people who get their cars towed pay the money. And Bill, you made money from LAG doing legal work for him. Greg Baruch, he made money. Tom Layton, he worked as LAG's agent. And this thing's full of conflicts of interest. And like I brought up, the new chief of police, yeah, they should have brought John Gotti Jr. in and let him run the thing. Because it would have been more honest. That's my opinion. Whereas you have a man that had a business relationship, and it wasn't bad enough if he was a patrolman, but he was a lieutenant, and then a captain. I might be mistaken, might not have been a captain. I think he was a lieutenant when he had the business arrangement. How could you be a police officer in business with the city tower where your men are towing cars and making money, where the tower provider, the car dealer provided him with license plates for his family, 3 of them, plus whatever cars he got, and now he's running the police department. It's not a police department over there, it's a zoo. The good guys that want to work, why should they march when everybody else that was involved with all this stuff got away with? Basically, he's been getting away with it. So when are we going to bring these things to a conclusion? That's what I want to know. If I'm not yelling and screaming, nothing gets in the paper. I'm trying to settle these things. When are we going to bring these things to a conclusion? Because how is it fair? Like, when you work for the city for 25 or 30 years, there's no problem getting a pension. You worked. But how do these council hogs get away with this? And nobody will do anything about it. So I'm asking, how can we bring these couple things to a conclusion?
Thank you, Mr. Kadluboski.
The pension issue, I'll put to rest. That is a state issue. City council is considered under state law to be full-time. So as a controller, so as mayor, they're elected officials, and the state law says you have to. It's not a choice. It's not anything. I know Mr. Brown, out of fairness to him, he actually came to us last year, as did other council members throughout the years, and say, hey, look at for the pension issue, for the health care issue, and all these other issues, we do an ordinance, and it's actually state law. In fact, there was a citizen that tried to change the charter to address it. The courts threw it out because it is state law. They have to give the same benefits to any other, that they give to any other city employee, to city council, to the mayor, and to city controller, period. And whether it's, popular or not, that's what it is. If Mr. Brown did contact Senator Ejected's office, and there was a third-class city code legislative group that had been meeting, I don't know what happened to it, but they were looking at those types of issues at the request of Mr. Brown. But if you want to talk to any mayor or something else like that, they can make the change there.
All right, just one thing, Bill. Here's the problem. Nobody could show, how do you count part-time service?
But it's not part-time service.
It is part.
No, it's not, because the state actually, and I can understand why people have said that, but the state has actually declared them not full-time or part-time, elected official, position of elected official, automatically gives them that right. That's what it is. And, as things have progressed, there's been issues of, if you don't take it, are you still taxed on it because it's a right that you can receive? So there's other issues out there, but there's no question it's definitely a state matter.
All right, see, here's the problem, Bill.
Mr. Kadluboski, I can't have you going back and forth.
Well, but no, come on, Mike, I haven't been here in months.
Your presentation was great.
I understand.
Okay, he's answering your question.
But no,
You're going back and forth. We can't have that.
But Bill, the mayor does it with other
Over there.
people. But listen, just let me ask this one thing.
No.
Show me where you count, where a guy puts $10,000 in, and a guy has to put $200,000 in or $100,000 in. How is it fair that the guy puts the least amount in and makes out? Nobody could show me that. That's what I'm saying. Show me the formula for Kathy Kane's going to walk out. How Lee Namey did it.
Thank you, Mr.
Tom
Kadluboski. Jim, did you want to comment?
That's before Mr. Visco answered it.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kadluboski.
And Mike, just to record one more time, Mr. Kadluboski, immediately have us as a signed shirt. So he raised it. So he raised it.
Just so you know, John, insurance. You're not telling the truth, Tom. I had all the insurances, because I couldn't tow unless I had the insurances and the bonds. I had everything. The man's lying.
Thank you, Mr. Kadluboski. Okay, David Garrity.
My name is David Garrity. I live at 89 Beach Street, Wilkes-Barre. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and Shirley Wheeler. We live on Beach Street. A year and a half ago, we had a contractor come in to put an addition on the house. He took 90% of the money, did 20% of the job, and walked away. I reported it to the Wilkes-Barre police. This was a year ago. Nothing's been done. No one's talked to him. No, he walked away from that. I was just to see the chief of detectives the other day. He said it will be taken care of. That was a month ago. Now, why do we have, if we have such an efficient police department, why does it take over a year for them to respond to a complaint? That's my question.
Is it north or south, sir?
South Wilkes-Barre.
No, Beach.
Beach.
Oh, Beach.
B-E-E-C-H. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll get an answer for you. Can we get his number outside?
Yep.
Meet Andy outside for your contact information.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Councilman.
Okay, Mr. Walsh. Name for the record, Mr. Walsh.
Jim Walsh, Mayor Street, Wilkes-Barre.
Yes, sir, thank
How you doing, Bill?
Good, sir. How are you? Good to see you.
Somebody told me that the number one item on your Christmas list is a new gavel. Is that correct? Before I begin, I want to reassure you, I am not questioning anybody's loyalty or patriotism when I come here and talk about the flag and patriots and so on and so forth. That is not my intent to question that. It's to promote it. And I want to make it perfectly clear that I believe I have the freedom to ask any member of this governing body in open forum a question or questions with the expectation of answers. I have the constitutional right as to what I said, freedom of speech. I also strongly believe we citizens should have the option to address council and audience from a position whereby we can face both parties just as you would in a court of law. You see the witnesses on the stand, you can see the jury, see the judge, and you can see the audience. We should have the same option here. County council meetings afford citizens that opportunity, but not the city council. Before I address council and mayor, I'm going to ask the ladies and gentlemen to please stay an extra minute or two after the meeting, the audience. And join with me in singing God Bless America, followed by the playing of taps in honor of those who died in the attack on Pearl Harbor, Sunday, December 7, 1941. This Sunday, December 7th, marks the 73rd anniversary of that despicable and deliberate murder of innocent Americans, killing thousands of military and civilians. USS Arizona is a memorial tomb for 900 men who died in the attack. That attack was the beginning of the worst war in world history. At the last council meeting, I directed a question to Mayor Layton as I held a small American flag and asked if he would saw anything wrong with the flag. Chair Barrett told me to address my questions to council, and Mayor Layton did not answer my question. Why? I heard him answer questions to several people a few weeks ago and last week also, but not mine. Mr. Barrett did not restrict their remarks to the 5-minute limit, and Mayor Layton answered questions and stood up doing so instead of hiding behind council members, which is his norm. During Layton's term in office, he has been blatantly neglectful in calling upon the business community and citizens to display our nation's flag on prescribed patriotic observances, in particular Memorial Day and Veterans Day. He and the council members have not done anything to raise funds to purchase flags to be displayed throughout the city and parade routes. This neglect has been going on for the past 10 years. This is nothing but shameful. We are now at the beginning of the Christmas season, the most joyful time of the year. How many families suffered through Christmas seasons during the wars in which we have been involved? What about our men and women now serving in Afghanistan and other parts of the world this Christmas and separated from their families? I know what it's like having spent 3 Christmases away from home during World War II, 1 in the United States and 2 in Europe, and 1 during the Battle of the Bulge. What about the families of 83,000 listed as missing in action since World War I? The torment they have suffered, the thousands of veterans in our VA hospitals and nursing homes. What does it take for this city and the nation as a whole that the displaying of our nation's flag is an expression of gratitude and honor those who are at great sacrifice has made it possible for us to be assembled here this evening? All I can pray is, God help us. Would you answer any questions, Mayor, as regards to the lack of displaying the flag throughout the city in your terms of office?
Are you finished, Mr. Walsh?
What's that?
Your time is up, so you finished.
You're not going to answer the question?
Hold on a second. Yes.
Mr. Walsh, in all due respect, you came to me and I did as much as I possibly could to help you raise funds. And got as many flags up, and look, I respect everything you do. I really, truly do. You're a true veteran, you mean well, and I've done everything I possibly can. I just don't know how much more we can do.
You're not doing anything.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
And the question is why?
Again, I appreciate all that you do.
Don't tell me, you're
Walsh.
repeating yourself. You're not giving me an answer
Mr. Walsh.
as to why I'm neglected.
Mr. Walsh.
Why is it you give leeway to other people on other occasions, but when I
I
had
didn't
what
give
you...
leeway to Mr.
And I
Kadluboski. I treated him the same way as I treat you.
No, you don't. No.
I do.
I've seen people sit here and go on for 5 or 10, 15 minutes.
No, sir.
I've seen it happen. And I've seen the mayor ask me questions, but he refuses to answer any questions because he's guilty of negligence, and he knows it. And so is his council.
Does anybody else care to
Yeah,
comment?
I would, Mr.
Good.
Mr. Walsh,
Yes.
I don't know if you can hear me. All due respect, I respect you as a veteran. I respect what you stand for. But I don't agree with one of the comments that you made about members of council not promoting flag display in the city. You were with me on Flag Day when we passed out over 200 flags to residents in the city of Wilkes-Barre. I mean, you know, I don't know how much more I can do as a councilman other than passing out hundreds of flags on Flag Day and collecting flags to be destroyed with the proper protocol and the proper military people there to do it the right way. So I myself don't agree with that statement, Mr. Walsh. I am very respectful of you and I appreciate what you've done for our country. But I want you to know, I don't believe that statement about council pertains to everyone.
When was this year, or this past year, the first time you've done this?
It was the first initiative we had.
Right. What about the previous years?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Walsh.
What about the previous years?
It was a new project that we took on, Mr. Walsh. And it's
And
something
is
that
it
I'm going to do.
because you're seeking?
Thank you, Mr. Walsh.
Is it because you're looking to become mayor and this will be a feather in your cap?
No,
Frank
Mr. Walsh,
Sorick.
I take offense to that statement. You know better than that.
No.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Sorry.
Mr. Kadluboski, not Frank Sorick.
No, Frank asked me to come down just to ask one question on his behalf.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
But no, he sent me down.
James
here-
Barrett.
But he sent me down here to ask Mr. Barrett a question.
If Mr. Sorick wants to ask a question, he could come and ask a
Well,
question.
he's very tied up. He wants to know about what Mr. Barrett learned on his trip that cost us thousands of dollars.
Mr.
Now, come on, Mike, I haven't been here since May. I'm speaking on behalf of,
Kadluboski.
there's other people that come here and represent people.
Mr.
I want to ask one question and get an answer.
You could ask that
This
question.
isn't Nazi Russian
You
and
could
stuff.
ask- you could
This
ask-
isn't a Nazi place.
You could ask your question when you had your 5 minutes, if you were that worried about
This
Mr.
is-
Sorick.
What? Why?
Yeah,
Well,
thank
I'm
you.
representing- No, I
Mr.
want to
Barrett.
ask Mr. Barrett the question on behalf of the Taxpayers Association.
Mr. Kadluboski, sit down.
I'm not sitting down, I want to ask him the question.
Would you have him removed, please?
All right, one handcuff him, because I didn't do nothing. I want to be able to ask him that question on behalf of the Taxpayers Association. You know what, you're nothing more than a Nazi, that's all you are. You should be ashamed of yourself that you're getting paid. I take time out to come down to ask him what he learned on this trip and cost us thousands of dollars, and I can't get an answer on behalf of the Taxpayers Association?
Thank you, Mr. Kadluboski.
I'm just telling you, you are nothing but a fake, a total fake. That's all you are.
Mr. Burden.
You guys need to be taught a lesson. I tuned you up once in federal court, and I'm going to be coming again. Yeah, laugh, Tom. You better hope Leo doesn't sing.
See you, John Wayne.
Yeah. Mr. Walsh. Remember, Bill Brace was the one who set me up with you.
In Pearl Harbor, he was one of the wounded. Okay?
All right. Go ahead, Mr. Burden. Name for the record, please, sir.
Yeah. Council, good evening. James Burden, 58 Taft Street, Wilkes-Barre. Okay, good evening, council. I have a couple things here. First of all, I'd like to say the raccoons are back at 57 Taft Street. They're making their home again. It's winter time, so Tuesday night they were up there and they're big. They had good food over the summer. So they made the hole bigger up on the roof. And, okay, I seen them at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock at night. 9 o'clock they were making the hole bigger. Second of all, 314 East Northampton Street, if you can get code up there, right in front of that. There is all kinds of furniture out in front of it. It looks like something that you would see in New York City up there. The people moved out, because I said to the people that live there, I said, hey, this isn't, clean up your mess out here. The city does not pick up furniture. And he says, it doesn't belong to us. I says, okay, well, we'll see about that. Okay, Bethel Street. I had to go up through Bethel Street. And as soon as you go make the turn on the Bethel, if you look about 2 doors up behind it, it's deplorable, right? Okay, I mean, it looks like...
Do you have a house number, sir?
As soon as you make the turn on the Bethel, it's the second house up on the right-hand side, okay? I mean, there's trash, everything all over.
Turn it on to Bethel from what street?
From East Northampton. It's a one-way going up, okay? 426, 428, hello. We got a Virginia car up there now that he's running wild in there. And we have a New York one that's been parked up in there. It belongs to the second floor of 428. I have the license plate. I'll give you these couple license plates and we're adjourned if you want. Okay? And in the rear of 426, 428, there's shopping carts full of trash thrown all over the back of that again. So when I walk out of my house, I see nothing but garbage again there. And then the sidewalks coming up on, because I walk, I do crossing guard now for the school district, and I walk. And on East Northampton Street, coming up on Mead Street, right by Mead and Northampton Street there, the sidewalks are lifted about 6 to 8 inches. Somebody's gonna get really hurt there. And the same thing in front of 438 East Northampton. The sidewalks are lifted up pretty high there too. It's from the tree roots, but they're, the one lady was complaining to me, and I went and I bought a can of orange spray paint, and I spray painted them because they were, before somebody killed himself at night walking up there. So that's about all I had tonight.
Okay. You had mentioned, you know your presentation now, sir?
Yes.
Okay, you had mentioned 426, 428. Are we to assume that's East Northampton?
East Northampton.
Andrew, did you get the ball?
314 East Northampton was the first one.
Was the furniture from the
Right. There's, it's in front of it and along the side of it.
And then
What's 57 Taft?
57 Taft.
that's with the raccoons.
That's my friendly neighbor raccoon house. The city sent a contractor up there about 2 months ago. And this girl supposedly was a contractor. And she walked in there and she says, "Oh, you can fix any house up with money." And I says, "You're not fixing this house up with money." The holes are, the roof is totally caked in now. And the feces that are in there from the raccoons and whatever else is in there. And they still haven't changed it from the white to the yellow.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Burton. Hopefully the administration can do something with those properties.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Al Swinick?
see it from this side.
Name for the record, sir?
Al Swinick.
Okay, sorry about that. And what can we do for you today, sir?
I have a complaint about a deadly intersection.
Okay.
That's River Street and West Market by the Market Street Bridge. I was almost hit by 2 cars with the pedestrian crossing light on. And it's my opinion that 80% of the vehicles in the right-hand lane making a right turn out to South River Street do not obey the traffic signal.
Coming from Kingston?
Yes.
Over the bridge?
And the suggestion I'm going to make, maybe has been tried before, but I don't know that, so I'm going to say it anyway. There should be an officer with in plain clothes with a 2-way radio station on Market Street Bridge at that intersection. And there should be a patrol car with an officer parked at South River Street in West Northampton. And when the plainclothesman observes motorists disobeying the law, he should call the officer in the patrol car and describe the vehicle, color, and license plate. And when that vehicle passes the patrol car should stop that vehicle and issue a citation. This would result in revenue for the city and perhaps improve the situation.
Sure. Are you done with your presentation?
Yes.
Sure, I agree with you that if we go ahead and start rating tickets, they're not going to go ahead and roll through that light. Now, there is a red signal there?
I believe there is. When
And
the pedestrian light is on, they do not yield to the pedestrian.
That's...
And then again, another thing I'd like to say is, I run across that intersection. There is not enough time for the pedestrian to cross the street. It seems like it's only 4 seconds, and it should be 5 or 6.
Okay.
I think there's a no turn on red sign there too.
Yeah,
there's a sign.
But I think also there's a yield sign, which is going to confuse people, because there's a yield sign coming off, and then the no turn on red. So maybe if they got rid of the yield sign.
Mayor said
Thank you.
something, I look into it.
That I know.
Sure, but I think it's part of the reconstruction software. So we'll look into it, but and that issue we can address with that.
Okay, and the timing on the light too to get
Yes,
across?
that's true.
Okay, then we can have something for the next meeting, hopefully?
Bush call there, Steve. But again, I know like because you're reconstructing South River Street from down, maybe we'll all the way up. So
Yeah.
that is.
It sounds dangerous though. Okay, thank you.
Let's stand and sing God's blessing.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Now we'll play taps, and when taps are being played, would you place your right hand over your heart?
It sounds impossible to cross.